First, I was proud of our guys' effort. I thought the energy was very high. We made some shots early on, and Edwardsville made a run back at us, and I thought our guys really relied on our defense. I thought our defensive pressure was really effective against them, their guards. I thought they kind of played on their heels early on, and that enabled us to really not only turn them over, but I thought we capitalized on the turnovers as well. And to me, that's a good sign of a basketball team that's going to rely on their defense. And then, of course, I thought the tempo was going to our likings. We rebounded the ball well. We just did a lot of good things. And you can see there's a lot of balance on this basketball team. Our bench comes in and scores 47 points. A lot of places that's kind of unheard of. But here, it can happen like that. And different guys, different nights are going to be guys that are going to lead us in scoring. The beauty of it is they share the basketball. They fix things on defense. And I thought tonight you saw when we're playing that way, man, a lot of good things take place. We had a lot of highlights. Our guys gave our fans a real show. And coming out for the first game with some new guys. Let's say Bobby Portis. I thought he was a little jumpy tonight because of, that first game. You never know. But I thought he settled down and did some good things for us, changing the trajectory on shots. He and Moses, Kinsley as well, rebound the basketball. But Antoine Bell continues to play good basketball for us. And let's attribute our guys really finding him and sharing the basketball with him as well.
I don't like you don't want to put all the outside shooting on Antoine, but when he has a night like that tonight, how does it make you feel looking ahead?
Well, that's what he does. He knows what he's capable of doing. And I think we got some other guys that are capable, but I think he's one of those guys, with most guys that shoot the basketball, they can miss 3 in a row. But if they got the mindset that next one going to go down, he's one of those guys that he can make the next 5. And I think we're seeing that. But he's not only just a jump shooter. He does a good job of distributing the ball. He draws attention. He knows when to give it up. Then he's got that little 1-2 dribble pull-up, and he's pretty deadly on that. You got to have a guy that can extend the defense, and he does that. So it opens up the lanes for cutting, for posting, and enable us to get to the free throw line as well.
What kind of effect did you feel Harris and Wade had off the bench?
Our bench was big. Those guys came in, and I would imagine both of them scored in double figures. But when you get a wave of guys coming in after a wave of other guys, there's a lot of wear and tear going on the other team. And I consider those guys are starting. When you talk about Wade and Alandis, they're like starters. They're coming off the bench. That's a big-time luxury. And it gets back to the point of quality minutes. And I thought those guys gave us some quality minutes out there. But it was predicated because of their defense intensity and touching balls and making Southern Edwardsville shoot the ball and getting rebounds and getting it out, getting the ball down the floor, getting good movement to the basket, and also getting to the free throw line.
Walls and dunk over the kids, Mike, kind of got the crowd on their feet and got them even more into the game. Talk about that.
Well, I thought it was a big time play, and we know he's athletic, and he has the athletic ability, he has the toughness. He's been trying to do it for the last year and a half, I think. I mean, there are times when he goes and the ball slips out of his hand, but tonight he put it together, and it's one of those plays, those momentum plays. And you're going to see that with a bunch of our guys. You saw some breakaways, guys playing the passing lane. Cody Clark. I thought Cody was in the first half. And I thought he was real effective, just doing a lot of different things, passing the basketball, scoring, deflecting passes. Sometimes it's not necessarily a guy steals the basketball, but we deflect it, and we just disrupt what those guys want to do. And then the second half, the hardest thing to do is when you got a big lead is to come out, and that's something we got to learn. You got to learn how to play with a lead. And that's something because we're going to be in some games where that's going to take place. When you have the depth that we have and where we're playing on the right cylinders, a lot of good things can take place for this team. But it's just one game, and as I told them, enjoy it to midnight, and we'll get prepared and try to get back in the gym tomorrow and get better.
What does it mean to you tonight to have 11 guys reach the scoring column?
Say it again.
What's it mean for you tonight to have 11 guys reach the scoring column?
Well, it just shows, these guys are we Hogs. I mean, they don't mind sharing the wealth. I think the bottom line is they want to win, and so they're going to go out and play as hard as they. And you saw our guys go out and play 5-6 minutes at a time. They played as hard as they could. They got their hands up and came out, and they were rooting for the next guy that got in there. And that, to me, is you're creating a real team chemistry when that takes place.
It seemed like Wade did a good job of putting the ball on the floor, getting to the basket. How much improved would you say he is in that area?
I think he played within himself. I thought, our guys did a good job of spacing the floor and create some opportunities for him to get in there. But he's gotten better. He's a senior. And so basketball is a game about decisions and taking advantage of the things that you have, the strengths that you have. And I think one of the things, we got a lot of guys that can go off the dribble and create, not only for themselves, but for others as well. So it was good to see him. And he'll be the first to tell you that in practice, I probably only call a third of those fouls. I don't even call a half of those fouls. And so the practice are that's where the war takes place. It's difficult in practice. See, the game are easy, and that's getting them prepared for when we do play teams, and when guys are going to play and they're going to bump and they're going to call it.
So it happened to Wade last year that maybe tied so much of his game to his jump shot that when it fell apart, his game did.
Well, he just had a tough year. That's all. I think he just had a tough year, and I think now you're playing with. The beauty of it now is that if you watch our ball and the ball movement, I mean that ball is being shared, and so now you're catching the ball at the right time where you can make a move, as opposed to catching it and now the defense is all in there. Then it clogs it up. But the floor is very spaced very well, and we move the ball, got it to the, whether it be the wing or to the corner, and guys were able to attack and make some nice passes. Atlantis, even in the second half, when they fouled Kiko, that was a great pass. He caught it, went baseline, and they fouled Kiko, and he gets 3 free throws.
Coach, you talked about capitalizing on turnovers. The team as a group seems to be playing more together in the transition game. Just talk about the improvement of the transition game, maybe from the previous seasons that you've been here.
Well, they're sharing the wealth. They're hitting the open guy. They're trusting their teammates, and that's part of becoming the ultimate team. And that's a great point. Even on fast break, even in our half court, we want to share. And I think to me the singles are better than the home run passes. And I thought there for a period we were trying to make the home run passes, and sometimes that you overpass. And that was, I think, when we came out in the second half. I thought we were just making too many passes. But when you're pushing and you're moving and you're taking what the defense give you, and guys are running, we got some big guys that can run. And not only those guys can run, but our forwards are pretty versatile. I mean, you saw in Cody making some nice assists to guys for dunks, and I think that's good basketball. I think it's fun basketball. I know that's when I get excited sitting over there, and there are times when I let them know it's boring. And it's boring basketball, but tonight they play some exciting basketball.
Any more questions for Coach?
All right, go Hawks.